book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, and verse 28. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmenians, Iran, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the woods, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, the U.S. embassies, the troops. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled bled, the American troops, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee, and from the land of the Assyrians, the U.S. troops, the embassies, the troops, where they're located, back east, shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and in their hosts and in their army shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hawashah, Wahara Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect that seeking to be the elect of the nation of Israel, that scattered abroad amongst the heathen, some look like the heathen, beginning to 144,000 preachers, teachers, and prophets. Shalom. And this video is going to sum up what's being said, or what was said in the scriptures, and it's going to get worse, because the dragons of Arabia is going into those Islamic nations. All right, Iran's allies, Houthi, Hamas, other Islamic nations. All right. Soon they're gonna all get involved. All right. Now we're gonna let him get into it. This is the Midas Touch channel. This is Ben Messilas. It says Trump panics as U.S. generals want out of war. You see? Didn't we just read that in the scriptures? Did we not tell y'all these things was going to happen through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah before it even happened? And it's going to continue to get worse, and they're going to really want out. All right? Remember, what's his name? Joe Kent, the counterterrorism, the director of the counterterrorism center. He resigned, and when he resigned, he pretty much aired it out that America is only involved because of Israel, and he didn't feel right being in his position, knowing that Americans are going or being sent to Iran or in the Middle East to die, a war for Israel. And he also said that Iran, there was no threat by Iran to America. You see? So, hey, things are ramping up. Things are on fire, man. Okay? And we can play this video like the first 10 minutes. And remember the scriptures that we just read. And, hey, Houthis, Hamas, those other Islamic nations, they're going to get involved. All right? See, right now, they ain't even involved. But, hey, America, hey, Trump, hey, y'all fail to realize you're lying to my the leaders of Iran trying to get in contact with you to make a peace deal. No. And we keep bringing it out, and you steady bringing out lies. No one's trying to get in contact with you. They already told you, live, on TV. We brought up the videos, and I was watching the video earlier. There is no ceasefire, man. They said y'all got to pay. You killing all their leaders, their generals. All right? You think you got boots on the ground over there, think you can take that oil and uranium? No, man. It's game time. Hey, we brought out the article a couple of days ago about what the Holy Spirit, how Iran, their leader said that, hey, It ain't no stopping to this to the whole. The Iranians themselves say there's not going to be any peace deal until the entire Iranian regime is dead. So they say, hey, this to the death, man. Hey, it's to the death with them. All right? And America, you talking about you got allies and you mad at your allies because you want nobody to help. And they telling you, no, it's your war. You started the war. For the Israelis, they're not getting involved. You see? But soon they're going to get involved. And they're going to tear your ass to pieces, your own former ally, excuse me. All right? Well, you see, Trump panics as U.S. generals want out of war. And him lying is him trying to cover up his end. Him lying, hey, like my man right here, Ben is going to say in the video, all this lying, he trying to get the stock markets to go back up. Because, hey, America is suffering, man. You know, soon if Trump say something, the stock market start shooting back up. But, hey, it ain't no peace deal. That's why he keep throwing that out there. No, this place finished. All right? There is no healing of thy bruise. Remember, your terribleness and your pride has deceived thee. Thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks. See, the stuff that y'all used to do no longer work. The Israelis got y'all on got you in a situation neither one of y'all can get up out of. And we can constantly bring that point home through the spirit of prayer, how about Shema Shah, because it's prophecy. All right? And that's what time we in. And you and the Israelis are going down together, man. All right? So let's go back to the 2nd Edge 15 and show you where it's going to ultimately lead to. All right? Because you see when you go back to 2nd Edge 15 and 33, and from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very terrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly, and dung of men unto the camel's hoof. Hey, this war is going to intensify. All right, because the other nations are going to start getting involved. All right? All right? The Islamic nations going to get the other dragons of Arabia, which would be the other Islamic nations, going to get involved. Then these other nations are going to start getting involved. That's why it says that, behold, the clouds from the east and from the north and from the south. All right? And they came like a full great storm. All right? So, hey, we about to see even more bloodshed, man, more death. All right? You ain't going to be able to keep hiding these numbers, which, hey, what other truth is coming out concerning the numbers of the people that's dying. But the fact is that you trying to cover it up, trying to lowball the numbers and the deaths. Man, look, man, cut it out, man. You see why they're gonna have to cut the media, man. All right, they're gonna have to cut the internet. They're gonna have to bring forth these blackouts, man. All right, they're gonna have to put the laws in place. Either before the blackouts, but most definitely, hey, when the blackouts hit, you know, and things back up and running in these inner cities, it ain't gonna be no reporting on none of that stuff, man. Unless it's the American propaganda, man. All right? They're nonsense. It says, and dung of men unto the camel's hoof, and there should be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. So, hey, as you see, the whole earth is in tune to what's going on. And are terrified because, hey, the war's not ended and all economies, hey, the global economy has been affected. Draft. Don't think the draft is not being talked about in these other nations, man, these other countries. All right? Everybody terrified, everybody scared. Over here in America, they still talking about possible T attacks from Iran. I'm looking at the video from earlier. You know, 6 days ago, it says Iran targets West Coast. FBI warns California police. So they still talking about that. Sleeper cells, cyber attacks. and they I believe in Europe, in the UK, their synagogues getting hit by so-called terrorists. You know, how can a terrorist call other people terrorists? Damn. But it says 37, the last portion. I read the whole verse again. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. And then shall there come great storms from the south and from the north and from another part from the west. All right, hey, that's more nations getting involved. And strong winds shall arise from the east and shall open it. And the cloud which he raised up in wrath, that's Russia. And you go to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, and the star stirred to cause fear toward the east and west wind shall be destroyed. And the great and mighty clouds shall be puffed up for the wrath and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein, and they shall pour out over every high and eminent place a horrible star. So these missiles are going to be shot. All right? It's going to really be brutal, man. You talking about missiles coming from all angles. All right? Back in the Middle East. So-called Middle East, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the Levant, Fertile Crescent, Saudi Arabia, that whole area, our land. You see? It says, and they shall pour out over every high and eminent place a horrible star. And that's nuclear missiles getting involved. All right? That's nuclear missiles getting involved. Okay? Hey, I believe, just me speaking as a man, I believe the Israelis are going to shoot the first nuke, man. America and the Israelis are going to shoot the first nuke. That's what I believe. And then Russia. And then the other nations got them nukes. They're going to just let them go. All right? They're going to let them go. All right? Because Putin know, the nations know how detrimental these nuclear weapons are. But you got to understand, why are they made? Why are these nuclear weapons made? Because they are the arrows of the Lord's indignation. All right? That's why. They know how detrimental they are. But these are the weapons of Yahweh Shema shot. And they are going to be shot. And it's going to be the end of America. It's going to be the end of all those armies that's fighting over there in the Valley of Jehoshaphat in Saudi Arabia. And we get Ezekiel 39. All right? So this horrible star wants to turn nuclear. Hey, it's a wrap. All right? It says fire and hail and flying swords and many waters. There are fields, that all fields may be full, and all rivers and the abundance of great waters. And they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the woods, and grass of the meadows, and their corn. So it's going to destroy everything over there. Okay? Different places going to get hit back east. All right? So you already know the land of Israel going to get totally obliterated. All right? It says, and they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. You see? And they shall go steadfastly quickly to Babylon, unto Babylon make her afraid. They shall come to her and besiege her. The star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto the heaven. And all they that be about her shall bewail her. And they that remain under her shall do service unto them that put her in fear. You see? So, hey, this place about to get hit, man, about to get rocked. All right? About to go down. All right? So, again, Trump panics as U.S. generals want out of war. Real quick. Couple articles just to add to the good news. Oath Keepers founder no longer MAGA after Iran war, quote, if I lose my pardon, so be it. So, hey, this place is completely divided, man. So you see this war is bringing out all prophecy, man. All right? It says, quote, they hold the cause now. Trump allies fear Iran is slipping beyond the president's control. We hit this earlier. It says, so in other words, hey, it's out of hand. He can't deal with it. It says government shutdown could lead to airports being closed. TSA official warns. Hey, they said, man, hey, up to like 300 agents quit. And they like, yo, man, this junk about to be shut down, man. So they talk like, hey, the traveling about to be cut off. All right? Like it says in the scriptures. Is that Micah? The 5th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. I'll cut off your horse and your chariots from the city. I think that's it. Then we'll play this video. Oh yeah, we got another one with robots going haywire. Then we'll play that. I think it's right here in Smart News. Let's see. We hit that already. U.S. military commander told troops Trump was anointed by JC to cause Armageddon. He was. It says, here it is, robot goes berserk in California restaurant dragged away by staff after smashing tableware. But robots are safe, so they said. Let me see. Check this out. Then that'll be it. We'll play the video. 19 hours ago, Stephen Miller, quote, people who don't belong here, end quote, are responsible for national debt. No, you guys are. Y'all spending billions of dollars a day on this war. You see? Giving it to Ukraine, to the Israelis, and spending on this war. And where the tariff money that y'all talking about? Hey, the people that's trying to hold on to Babylon still looking for them checks. Well, us as the hopeful elect seeking to be the elect of Yahweh by Shema. We knew you were bullshitting anyway. All right? We knew you were bullshitting. All right? Let's go ahead and play this.
If you're looking for the
Minus touch. Trump begs for workers. Hey, they said with them deporting Northern Kingdom, they said they ain't got nobody to do the work. So hey, Trump is just scrambling, man. Hey, like the scripture says, is there no more wisdom in teaming? The answer is no. What the damn video? I just had it. Hold on, y'all. Let me pause it. Here it is. The White House. Trump panics as U.S. generals want out of war. Let me turn to the side. So to go to show you, hey, there's soldiers that might even have forborne to fight, man.
Donald Trump is panicking as his top generals and admirals want him to end this disastrous war in Iran right now. In their daily briefings to Donald Trump about the status of this disastrous war in Iran, they keep on slipping into his daily war planning, options for how to get out of this war right now. Here's what NBC is exclusively reporting. These top military generals and admirals continue to include these options in their regular war planning about how to end this conflict. Now, we know that Donald Trump doesn't read, though, so that's a big problem. What these top generals and admirals are seeing is that the United States is stuck with no way out in Iran right now. The front page of the Financial Times tells the story. Allies reject Donald Trump's call for warships. Which allies? frankly, which allies exist anymore. But all of Donald Trump's so-called allies are saying, we are not sending our ships to the Strait of Hormuz. Are you crazy? You started this war. You didn't consult us. You and Benjamin Netanyahu rushed into this disastrous war. Try to figure it out without us. Now, we're learning a lot of other disastrous news from this disastrous war. The official count of wounded service members now exceeds 200, with around a dozen very seriously wounded. Although we know the Trump regime continues to provide false information, so it's unclear what the real number is. And of course, we learned that, at least as of now, from what's been reported, 13 service members have been killed. We've been covering here on the Midas Touch Network how some of the families of these service members are now speaking out against this unlawful war. Should also be noted that the United States has lost about a dozen MQ-9 Reaper drones so far, including one accidentally shot down by a Gulf state. These are these really expensive drones that the United States has, not to mention the United States Embassy in Baghdad targeted again by Iran. We have footage of that I'll show you in a moment. Donald Trump just looks so utterly pathetic, right? I mean, he was out there claiming yesterday that the foreign minister of Iran continues to try to reach out to Steve Witkoff to make a deal. Then you have the foreign minister of Iran saying, no way, we're not interested in a ceasefire. These are lies intended to manipulate the oil markets when we're not trying to reach out to Witkoff at all. We want to teach the United States a lesson. We're learning additional facts as well about how that USS Gerald Ford, that aircraft carrier, that is one of the two main aircraft carriers surrounding Iran, before Donald Trump launched this disastrous, unlawful, and ill-fated invasion of Iran with Netanyahu. Remember, we were talking about those fires that took place aboard that ship, and there was like sewage issues, and then recently there was fire issues, and this ship keeps having problems because it's really exceeded the length of its deployments. There were the sewage issues before, and there's the fire issues. Here's what we're learning that's happening. Sailors on board the USS Gerald Ford, which is now entering its 10th month of deployment, battled flames on board the aircraft carrier last week as well. Then they had the plumbing issue before the war for over 30 hours. After a small fire that started in the ship's main laundry area spread through ventilation to several other areas of the ship, including multiple berthings, with more than 600 sailors and other crew members having lost their beds in the fire, and they've since been bunking down on floors and tables throughout the ship. So over 600 of our men and women in the Navy are sleeping on the floor right now, and there's no fix in sight. I mean, it's really pathetic that that's how we're treating our troops right now. Let's go through what's going on in Baghdad as well. We have footage of this. Video footage showing an impact by an Iranian one-way attack drone right outside the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Watch this. And as Donald Trump says, we've totally obliterated Iran. They've been decimated. They don't have drones. They don't have ballistic missiles. We're winning this thing. All right, well, take a look at this video footage right here so you can see for yourself. Play this clip.
They go home. Wallah, they go home.
Now I'll show you footage showing this impact from another angle. Also, one of the main hotels in Baghdad, where a lot of diplomats frequent, was also struck by the Iranian drones. And Iran's using its proxies in Iraq, its Shiite group proxies. And by the way, Iran hasn't even, as of yet, activated the Houthis in the Red Sea. I believe they're holding off because China's telling them to hold off, and Russia for now is telling them, look, let's just hold off because China wants you to hold off. But the moment Iran activates the Houthis in the Red Sea, the way the Strait of Hormuz is shut down in the Persian Gulf, there's a strait in the Red Sea. The Houthis know how to control that. All of these cargo ships are now being diverted to the Red Sea. They're going to get trapped there. Isn't it so obvious that that's what the plan is? But let me show you this footage showing a near direct impact on the U.S. Embassy compound in Baghdad. Play this clip. Your grandpa died at 70 because his FOXO3 gene was sleeping. But this powder right here, and here's another angle of the Iranian Shahed 136 flying low over the capital, seemingly with impunity. Play this clip. And I'll just share with you a video that the Popular Mobilization Front, an Iranian-backed group who's acting as one of the principal executors of Iran's strategic outlook in Iraq, they released this footage right here showing what appears to be one of these drones, these FPVs, first-person view FPV drones, flying unencumbered through the green zone in Baghdad near the embassy. Just watch the flight path right here. Play the B-roll, guys, as people can see the flight path here with impunity. And they're sending a message that at any point in time, we can attack any one of these buildings as we desire. And meanwhile, Donald Trump saying that all of this is AI. Donald Trump is saying that the crowd sizes in Iran that have been showing up to actually support the Iranian government after the United States struck the elementary schools and desalination facilities and after Israel struck the oil depots, Trump's like, all these crowds are AI right now, to which the Iranian National Security Advisor Ali Larijani mocks Donald Trump and says, Trump says about the million-strong anti-American and anti-Israeli rallies in Iranian cities that these images are artificial intelligence. Now, look, I don't know if it's a million people, but we know that several other outlets, New York Times and others, have confirmed that there are these pro-government rallies, whether it's 100,000, 200,000, I don't know if it's a million, but they're in a lot of cities, and they're out there. And you can say, man, this is propaganda, this is propaganda. Well, they're staging it, and they're utilizing the fact that Donald Trump is covering up a child sex trafficking ring and that he represents the Epstein class. They're using that to say, hey, look, Trump, Epstein class, they're out here blowing up elementary schools the way they were predators on little girls and covering up for predators of little girls. And that's what the Epstein files is all about. Look at what they're doing in Iran. The first thing they do is kill a school of little girls. That's the argument that they're making right now. Look, explosions and air defense activity in Bahrain. Want to talk about what's going on in the UAE? Basically, all of its airspace shut down. Temporarily, but shut down in the past 24 hours. UAE fully closes its airspace. The UAE's General Civil Aviation Authority announced a temporary and full closure of the country's airspace to ensure the safety of flights and air crews. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, they're being destroyed right now, and Iran saying, well, look, UAE, you made this deal with the United States, right? Trump gave you those chips. You invested in Trump's crypto companies and Jared Kushner. We know what you did. And now you have all these bases there. So we think that Dubai and Abu Dhabi is a fair target. Iran's also telling Saudi Arabia, clarify your position, because the reporting is that you've been working with Trump and Netanyahu. That's what they're saying. And I want to be clear. I mean, the United States and Israel are pounding Iran, hitting naval targets, decimating the Navy, not all of Iran, decimating certain military structures. Certainly not all of Iran. They still have their ballistic missiles and Shahed drones. We're seeing them in action, right? But they're also decimating civilian targets, and they're killing a lot of innocent people as well. And that's rallying people in Iran around the government, unfortunately, and leaving people who were hoping perhaps for a shift to democracy. They feel betrayed right now by the Trump regime, especially when they showed up in mass and they were protesting against the Ayatollah back in January, and Trump said, "I got your back." And he didn't have their back. He threw them under the bus. He got thousands of them killed. When you got Israel invading Lebanon, southern Lebanon, calling up 450,000 reservists go into Lebanon. I mean, they're destroying Beirut. I mean, the suburbs of southern Lebanon are just demolished. Hospitals being blown up, hospital workers being killed, in addition to Hezbollah, but they're killing a lot of innocent people as well. And that is further rallying people against the United States and Israel right now. And, of course, they're rallying around them for a lot of other reasons as well.
Yeah, but that's it. I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. I'll put the link to the full video in the description box. You want to check that joint out. So, hey, this is what's going on, and this is what's going to happen, man. So, stay prayed to put the names in how about Shema Shah. We almost up out of here. Shalom.